In the quiet town of Ashbourne, Massachusetts, everyone knew Evelyn Moore. She was the woman with the perfect life, a respected art teacher, a loving husband, and a warm smile that could make anyone's day better. But on a cold October evening in 1998, Evelyn vanished. Her silver Toyota Camry was found abandoned on a dirt road near the old railway tracks, the same place kids claimed was haunted. Her purse was still inside, but the keys and phone were gone. The town panicked. Everyone helped search. Days turned into weeks, then months. Police followed every lead, an ex-student obsessed with her, a husband who didn't cry enough, even whispers of suicide. But no trace of Evelyn Moore was ever found. Until 12 years later, she showed up, alive. It was January 2010 when Evelyn walked into the Ashbourne Police Department, pale, frail, and trembling. "I'm Evelyn Moore," she whispered. "I think someone's been living my life." The officers were stunned. Her fingerprints matched. DNA confirmed it, but her story didn't make sense. She claimed she'd been taken by a man named Harold Knox, a reclusive writer who lived deep in the woods near Vermont. He'd kidnapped her, kept her in an underground bunker, and made her pose as his wife. She said she'd finally escaped after he died of a heart attack. The police drove to the location she described. And sure enough, buried under a remote cabin, they found a bunker with 2 rooms, a typewriter, and hundreds of photographs of Evelyn pinned to the walls. The nation was shocked. News channels called it the miracle of Ashbourne. But the real miracle hadn't even begun. Evelyn reunited with her husband, Thomas Moore, who had remarried 5 years after she disappeared. He was now living with his second wife and their 2 children. It was awkward, tragic, and confusing. Evelyn agreed to stay with her sister for a while. But soon, people started noticing strange things. She couldn't remember her students' names. She didn't recognize her old house. And her mannerisms, even her handwriting, were slightly off. Her sister, Linda, once asked, "Do you remember Dad's old dog, Jasper?" Evelyn smiled, but her eyes flickered with panic. "Yes," she said slowly, "the black one." Linda froze. Their father had a golden retriever. DNA tests had already confirmed it was Evelyn. But there was something off. Detective Marcus Hale, who had worked on Evelyn's case back in 1998, couldn't let it go. He decided to re-examine the files. Something jumped out. Evelyn Moore wasn't the only missing person from that area in 1998. A woman named Karen Blake, a 32-year-old librarian from Vermont, had vanished 2 months before Evelyn. Both women had the same blood type. Both had similar features. And strangest of all, Karen Blake once lived near Harold Knox. Detective Hale pulled an old photo of Karen. The resemblance was uncanny, nearly identical, except for a small scar on her left wrist. When he visited Evelyn's sister, he noticed the same scar. But when he checked Evelyn's medical records before 1998, there was no mention of it. Hale quietly ordered another DNA test, this time comparing the woman claiming to be Evelyn with Evelyn's mother, who was still alive. The results shattered everything. It wasn't a match. The woman living as Evelyn Moore was Karen Blake. But how? Further digging revealed that Harold Knox had been obsessed with Evelyn. He had painted her portraits, stalked her classes, and written letters addressed to her. When Evelyn disappeared, he must have kidnapped Karen, brainwashing her into believing she was Evelyn Moore after Evelyn's death. It explained everything. The bunker, the altered memories, even the DNA confusion due to contaminated samples. The real Evelyn Moore was never found. Karen, who had lived as Evelyn for years, broke down when she was told the truth. She remembered faint flashes of 2 women in the bunker. One crying, one silent, and a shovel. Police searched again, and this time, under the floorboards, they found human remains. Dental records confirmed it. The real Evelyn Moore had died within days of her disappearance. Karen Blake had lived 12 years believing she was someone else, a prisoner not just in a bunker, but in her own mind. In an interview years later, Karen said quietly, "I lost my life trying to live someone else's. And I didn't even know it." Her story became a haunting reminder that the human mind can be both a fortress and a cage. Sometimes, the scariest place isn't where we're trapped. It's what we're made to believe. Be careful what you accept as truth, because once your mind believes the lie, even freedom can feel like captivity.